vastness of the sea has always represented both a formidable challenge and an opportunity for the civilizations that arose along its shores. From the dawn of human history, the oceans have been a battleground where empires competed for supremacy, where the fate of nations was determined, and where some of the most iconic innovations in military technology were conceived. The story of ancient naval warfare is one of constant adaptation, driven by the need to conquer, protect, and explore. From rudimentary rafts to the powerful warships of later empires, the evolution of naval warfare is a fascinating tale of human ingenuity, a tale that unfolded over millennia. In the earliest days of recorded history, naval warfare was not the great strategic endeavor we think of today. It began with simple boats and rafts used for fishing, trade, and local defense. The ancient Egyptians, however, stand out as one of the first civilizations to take naval power seriously, constructing the first warships with the explicit purpose of protecting their territories and advancing their interests. Around 1500 BCE, the Egyptians began developing larger, more sophisticated ships that were propelled by both paddles and sails. These early warships were used not just for local defense, but also for carrying out military operations along the Nile and in the Mediterranean. By 1200 BCE, the Egyptians had created a fleet of ships capable of more than just coastal raids. These ships were used for strategic purposes during the New Kingdom, where the famous pharaohs of Egypt launched campaigns against the neighboring kingdoms of the Levant and the Aegean. While these early Egyptian ships were not built for the open sea, their construction laid the groundwork for future naval advancements. It was the Egyptians who first understood the potential power of the naval forces to extend their empire's reach beyond the immediate vicinity. Meanwhile, across the Mediterranean, the Phoenicians were developing their own naval traditions. Around the 12th century BCE, the Phoenicians became known as the premier seafarers of the ancient world. The Phoenicians mastered shipbuilding techniques that allowed them to travel across the Mediterranean and establish trade routes that spanned from modern-day Syria to as far west as Spain. The Phoenician ships, known for their speed and maneuverability, were built for long journeys and trade. But the Phoenicians soon found that their naval power could also be used for defense and conquest. The real revolution in ancient naval warfare, however, came when the Greeks developed the trireme, a sleek, fast vessel that had 3 rows of oars on each side, manned by skilled rowers. What made the trireme truly revolutionary was the introduction of the bronze ram, a heavy metal spike mounted at the front of the ship designed to ram and sink enemy vessels. This innovation in ship design allowed the Greeks to dominate the seas and establish their naval supremacy in the Mediterranean. In the 5th century BCE, the Greek city-state of Athens, in particular, embraced the power of naval warfare. The Athenians, led by the brilliant strategist Themistocles, created one of the most powerful navies the world had ever seen. The Battle of Salamis, fought in 480 BCE, was the defining moment of Greek naval power. Facing the vast Persian fleet under King Xerxes, Themistocles used a clever strategy, luring the Persians into the narrow waters of the Salamis Strait, where the larger Persian ships were unable to maneuver. The Greeks, with their fleet of fast-moving triremes, destroyed the Persian fleet and secured Greece's survival. This battle is often seen as one of the most significant naval victories in history, as it not only thwarted Persia's plans for conquest, but also confirmed the importance of naval power in determining the course of history. The success of the Greeks in naval warfare was not an isolated event. Their innovations and victories influenced the naval strategies of other great civilizations, particularly the Romans. The Romans in the 3rd century BCE understood that the control of the Mediterranean was essential for maintaining their empire's security and expanding their territories. However, unlike the Greeks, the Romans did not initially have a strong naval tradition. The Romans, therefore, had to adapt and learn quickly. During the First Punic War, 264 to 241 BCE, they faced off against Carthage, a powerful maritime empire. The Carthaginians were masters of the seas, and the Romans knew that to defeat them, they had to find a way to level the playing field. The Roman solution was their invention of the corvus, a type of boarding bridge used to engage in hand-to-hand combat aboard enemy ships. This device allowed the Romans to turn naval battles into traditional land-based infantry skirmishes, where they held a tactical advantage. The Romans were able to use this innovation to decisively win naval engagements, including the Battle of Mylae in 260 BCE, where the Romans defeated the Carthaginian fleet and established their dominance in the Mediterranean. In the eastern part of the Roman Empire, the Byzantines continued to innovate in naval warfare. The Byzantines inherited much of the Roman military tradition, but they took naval warfare to the next level with the development of Greek fire, a deadly incendiary weapon used to set enemy ships on fire. Greek fire was a closely guarded secret and gave the Byzantine navy a distinct advantage over its rivals for centuries. The Byzantine Empire used Greek fire with devastating effect, particularly during naval battles against the Arabs in the 7th and 8th centuries CE. The ability to launch a fire-based attack from a ship was a game-changer in naval combat and ensured the Byzantine Empire's survival during its darkest hours. The evolution of ancient naval warfare is a testament to human ingenuity and the relentless pursuit of military superiority. From the simple rafts of the early Egyptians to the sophisticated triremes of the Greeks and the heavily armed warships of the Romans, ancient civilizations constantly adapted their naval strategies to meet new challenges. The technological innovations of the ancients, ranging from the development of the ship's hull to the invention of weapons like the bronze ram and Greek fire, set the stage for future advances in naval warfare. Ancient naval warfare was not only about winning battles, but also about securing trade routes, protecting coastal settlements, and projecting power over vast distances. Control of the seas became synonymous with control of empires. As the ancient world developed its naval capabilities, it shaped the course of history, influencing everything from the expansion of empires to the development of trade networks that connected the farthest reaches of the known world. Even today, the legacy of ancient naval warfare lives on in the modern Navy. The principles of naval combat established by the Greeks, Romans, and Byzantines, such as the importance of speed, maneuverability, and firepower, continue to inform naval strategies. The history of ancient naval warfare serves as a reminder of the importance of technological innovation in warfare, as well as the enduring human drive to conquer the seas. And as we look to the future of naval warfare, we can be certain that the lessons learned from the ancient world will continue to guide those who sail the seas in pursuit of power, conquest, and discovery.